Hey guys, it is that time of year. We are reaching the midway point. So, this is our mid-year reset. How are we doing? How are things going? How are we going to pivot going forward? And what should we adjust? What should we keep doing? There's a few things that, in business, I'll do things like start, stop, continue. And I love that because it's a really simple framework. What should I start doing? What should I stop doing? What should you continue? Like maybe you're not completely at that goal or you're in a maintenance mode, something that is doing good for your life, but you want to continue doing that and see where it'll take you for the rest of the year. My name is Angie. I like to talk about things productivity, about self-improvement and self-development. I'm glad you're here, so let's just jump into it. So let's go ahead and look at how I would approach a mid-year reset. The first one, very straightforward. Look back at your goals. I am trying to do this quarterly, and it's about time for me to switch over to a new quarterly planner. This is the full focus one. It's a little bit expensive. It's by Michael Hyatt. I always get more excited when you get something new and you start over. The book, the one that I want to do for the summer, is going to be this navy blue one, really pretty. And I'm gonna just talk with you about a few ways that I would approach a mid-year reset. So, looking at the goals, I'll talk to you about a few of mine and maybe some ways that we might celebrate them. The first one, I'm going to go in priority order of how I rank them at the start of Q2. So, number one was post a weekly podcast. Not doing too hot there. I think what I found is I don't know. I prefer variety in the things that I'm discussing, and I found that you guys like that too. So I really want to be able to continue bringing interesting topics about self-development, but I'm thinking about taking it from a different angle. And now that I've revitalized or reimagined my approach on how to talk about these things, it might keep it a little bit more interesting. So that one I do want to continue. It's just going to be maybe in a different lens. Second, let's go in bed by 10. That has not been working. Ivy has not been going to bed easily, so it's so hard. And then the other thing that I struggle with putting my daughter to bed, for a while she was waking up at 3. I have tried to adjust. I've been trying to play with her outdoors even though it's boiling hot now. So we're working on it. We're working on trying to get her tired even after daycare so that she'll be more likely to sleep through the night. But that has really messed up my goals. I'm going to try. I think in an effort to be able to do that and have a bedtime routine, I'm also going to need to shut off with Ivy. It's my tendency is to stay up with her or do things right after she finally goes to bed. So it's really kind of messing me up. All right, next, move my in-body goal from a C to an I. Now, this is personal for me. This is something that I've been trying to get some muscle development and change my body composition. So with the in-body structure, you can either be a C, an I, or a D shape. And I successfully moved from a C to an I, but this fluctuates, that could have been that moment that I weighed. I'm not going to feel too solid with that until a second weigh in, and I'm only doing that monthly. This is very personal to me. I don't want anyone to get triggered if, that's not how you personally want to track your movement or your success with fitness. This is just something that I had set up for myself. So far, that's looking good, so I will continue. 4, the next one was dance class in person, once per month. That is something that I have successfully achieved, sometimes more than once, and I will continue doing it. I think it's a very attainable goal. I do wish that I was more thoughtful or consistent with doing at-home practice because I just love dance so much and I can't always fit it in my schedule to go to class. One time a month is perfect, but what I would love to see myself do is to start adding more at-home training sprinkled in. 5th, read 30 books. I'm doing great. I've got a new Kindle and that was the last video that I did, and that got me really excited to continue reading more. I got a trial of Kindle Unlimited and I've been reading a bunch of books from that. So that's been going really well. So I'd say I met that one. I got 10 goals here, so we're halfway through. 6 was do an unassisted pull-up. I would say that I partially met this goal because I've been able to do it, but I just don't feel like it was a good pull up, like the cleanest one. I kind of like needed to have a little bit of momentum and jump a little bit, and I don't like that. I'm not going to count it. So it's a partial point there. 7. Color or do more crafts in different meetings. I'm just laughing because I continue to bring this goal. I want to be a coloring girl so bad, and I'm just gonna have to give up on it. Like, it is fun for once, for a night or something like that. I even did break out my iPad pencil again and started doodling. It was so much fun. I think I want to revisit that one. It's not something that I found is giving out what I needed to do. I keep talking about coloring so much, and I think I'm ready to revisit that one. 8, email and paper declutter. It's like slow progress. I've been going through a lot of old things and filing stuff and helping clear out some old email archives, but not much significant progress there. A couple more. Private wealth management is something that I wanted to get into with my bank. I already have a financial planner, a completely managed investment account, but I wanted to continue exploring some of that. Haven't done it yet, so that's going to have to be a Q3 thing. And then last was source contractors for the bathroom kitchen remodels for our home. Yeah, that has not happened. Life just hit me, and I think that's probably something that I would also, I'm not sure if I want to carry it over. We probably need to do tiling on the backsplash for the kitchen. I just haven't prioritized it. It is on the last of this list. And then I did 3 bonus ones, which is crazy. It was like prep for National Design Week, which is actually in the fall. I need to figure out the date because I think what my goal was to speak at one of those events. The next one was community outreach. Why did I write that? What is that? And then the last one, number 13, was update my website. And I don't know what community outreach is. That's why in these bonus ones, I don't have enough room for me to explain myself. So those were some of the goals that I'd set at the start of Q2. Okay, what are the things that I've accomplished? I successfully set up this home office. It was in a state of disarray before this, and I was able to do that. I think another milestone was being able to teach a TikTok dance. A milestone I already talked about was go from a C to an I. I've still continued to be consistent at the gym, and that shows with some of my body recomp from C to I. I've had a lot of really great outings with friends, so maintaining my friendships and being a bit more social and being out and about with friends. I've gone on 2 trips. We went to Colombia and we went to Guatemala, so both in Central America, and really enjoying my time with my husband and doing that. Another one is I've made some small progress for the podcast in purchasing some more equipment. It's secondhand gear, but I'm learning more about how to use those things. I have made some good progress with minimizing my digital files. That's taken quite some time, but I figured it out. And now I can finally use my laptop because it was like a brick. I was constantly running out of the 1 terabyte space and running out of memory. I'm learning how to use it. I'm getting a little bit better. And then, one fun one that I might have already mentioned was definitely like a standout moment of the TikTok class, like teaching people how to do a TikTok dance. And I had to learn how to do it in a mirrored view, and that was a lot of fun. I've also been starting a new team at work, and that brings a lot of things like learning new personalities, learning new flows, figuring out new problems and challenges. So that's been good. Okay, now, what are some of the new goals? All right, so I have my new adjustments. All I was doing was taking some notes in the current quarter so that I can have a little bit more clear progress of how I want to move things over to the next quarter. So those are my goals. Let me just go over them real quick with you. Number 1, I want to be able to post a weekly video here. Yeah. 2, be able to wallpaper the office. I've been talking about it forever. I even already found a couple quotes. I just haven't bit the bullet and done it. Number 3, I want to move my in body from a C to an I, which is a little bit more, I'm already kind of in there. I just want it to be more in the center point of the I. Number 4, I want to dance in person once per month. 5, read 30 books. 6, do one unassisted pull-up, and that goal is still for year end. 7, I want to do an online dance routine once per month. 8, I want to move all of my family video to an online storage solution, prioritizing the 4K video because it's so big. 9, wallpaper the office. And then 10, which is to remodel, or sorry, number 10 is to add backsplash to the kitchen. So those are all of my goals. I do need to look and find out how to add some more details to those newer ones, especially like the one with the online storage and stuff like that. So my structure, which is straight from the Full Focus Quarterly Planner system, is that I will put the goal, then write 5 motivators, 5 next steps, and then write down how I will celebrate that milestone. So what did we talk about so far? We reflected on the 13 goals that I had set and have continued to bring over. Some of them are for quarter end, some of them are for year end, but we reevaluated those and looked at the ones that I wanted to start doing more, start focusing on more, the things that I no longer think apply to my goals, and then the things that I'm working towards or still wanting to continue and strengthen, and those are just the start, stop, continue. I set a few new goals, and I need to break those down to make sure that I have a very clear mindset of how I want to approach them in this next quarter. Let's talk about a few things that anybody can do. My goals are mine. You may find some that are interesting that you might want to get inspiration from, but I have a wild amount of goals and they're random and they're all mine. And if you want to take them and get some inspiration, I'll definitely jot them down for you. But, to each their own. Some of them are closely related. Like I have 2 dance ones, I have 2 organizational ones, 2 fitness ones. So even though it's this maybe intimidating number of 10 goals, some of them are really closely linked in groups. So things that we could all look to achieve would be to clean and organize. One of the things that we've taken a step on towards is to hire a cleaner. We've never had a cleaner before. We've paid for someone to help us clean our apartment when we were moving out, but we've never had a regular service. A lot of it is because we're just unorganized. We're just so busy. You're juggling a whole bunch of things, the one that falls through the cracks is usually organization and our home. It's a disaster. I'm not turning this camera around for you. It's like one of the things that we need to work on, like this. This is clean, but I've thrown everything in the closet or they're right behind camera. We recognize that we have the means to be able to look for some support in that. Now, if you asked me a few years ago, we would have been more of like, no, there's no need. That's a waste of money. We can do it. We just need to make the time. So I've been where you are at. And if that's not an expense that you can readily afford, or you feel that you might not need to pay for this type of service, what you might consider is having a trade with a neighbor. So what you could really consider is doing a baby share swap and say, hey, neighbor, friend, I would love some heads down time to make a lot of progress on cleaning and organizing the home. And I'm not in a place to do that when I have to drop everything and be with my daughter. So what you could do is like, would you be able to watch her for a few hours while I do that? And then I could do that for you and see if that kind of watch each other's kid trade would help. One other approach that I've done is calling a friend, someone that you don't normally get to keep up with, someone that's close with you, and you say like, hey, I really need to get some house chores done. I also want to catch up with you. Can we FaceTime? Can we get on a call? And you put in your earbuds, headphones, and then just say like, you clean too. We'll just talk to each other about what you're doing. We'll fold clothes. That's one other way to let time pass more quickly. So we talked about cleaning and organizing and some ways that you can motivate yourself to start or see if you can outsource some of that support. Find ways to get time back with a kid watch share, watching a show, calling a friend, using a Pomodoro technique just to get yourself jump started and motivating. There is actually a ton of videos online watching people clean their house, and I don't know why, but it's fascinating. So that's a little bit different than having a movie or a show, because when you play this, it's mindless. You don't really have to pay attention to the show. You can actually just see that they're moving and cleaning, and it'll inspire you to do the same. I know it always works for me. So, yeah, give that a try. If you're watching like a drama, you really just want to sit down, cuddle up, and like not do the work. But when you're watching somebody else work, it feels a little bit more energizing. So, that's something you can give a try. So, going into the second half of the year, this is what I want to instill in you guys and myself, which is to prioritize self-care. There's three things that go into this umbrella. And then the first one would be your mental health. So, I have struggled recently with a lot of challenges with family, with work. And so I've sought out some support through therapy. And I do it with an online therapy. Luckily, I'm fortunate enough to have a benefit from my employer. So I use Lyra, Lyra, like to get connected with a therapist or with a behavioral coach. And I found that talking about some of the challenges just gives me space to cry, to have feelings, and then just move on to the next day or find some techniques to be able to handle some of those difficult situations. I know that Ivy, she's 2, so she definitely has tantrums or those terrible 2 moments. And that is so challenging for me as somebody who doesn't have a lot of family nearby for support or even friends with kids around me often. And so that is one of the things that's helped me, is to be able to talk through about how these challenges are normal, about how to handle frustration and stress in a more healthy way. All right. Couple other things with self-care. As you might have picked up, I'm really big into my fitness game. I've been really big into my fitness game. I feel very strong. I'm working out 5 times a week. Let's see, at least Monday through Friday, sometimes Saturday. So 5 to 6 times a week. It's been really great. I've been able to feel stronger. I've been able to pick up my daughter with ease. She still is a bit clingy. She loves to be held by mommy and only mommy, not daddy. And she's like 30 pounds. And when I do sandbag holds at work, at the gym, I'll do a 50-pounder and can walk around moderately easy with holding a 50-pound. I can carry groceries. It makes everything so much easier. And I'm not winded, even though it's terribly hot. I feel stronger. I feel healthier, and I'm excited for continuing that journey through the rest of the year. Finally, with self-care is the social piece. I have been making efforts. I think that's so hard to maintain friendships when you're an adult. And when you're an adult with kids and your friends don't have kids, like this is tough. And not only that, if your friends do have kids, then you're trying to coordinate around your child's nap schedule and their child's nap schedule. The naps, like, it's a lot. The naps, the emotions, and anytime that you have some downtime, it's usually not to be social with other parents or with other kids. It's like maybe you yourself need to nap or you need to clean, like the other goal we were just talking about. So I have noticed I've had a bit more of a social past few weeks, been going out, been hanging out at the pool with friends, and I feel very fortunate to find opportunities to do that. I've been getting more creative. Not long ago, I had a friend over and we used to have this routine of getting our nails done and getting a pedicure and just chatting. And I haven't had a lot of time to be able to carve out of my week to be able to do that, or have not really wanted to pay the money or have the expense on it because your nails grow and you have to take them off. If that's something you splurge on, do you. But for me, I know how to do my nails and I just felt like I wanted to take a break from doing that service. I told my friend, I was like, I have a lot of tools. Why don't you just come over? And it was great because it's easy for her. She can drive to me, and my daughter was still with us. She was hanging out in the living room, and we were able to have a couple drinks and just do our nails together and chat and have a really good time. So that was perfect. It was free, and yeah, it was fun to catch up with somebody who hadn't spoken with in a long time. Phone calls, I talked about when you're cleaning and you need a little bit of way to make your time pass more quickly. You can catch up with friends over the phone. I love having a phone call. want to be tethered to my device. I want to multitask, so I don't want to be tethered to my device in a way of FaceTime. So I can plug in my headphones, I can go about and do my thing, and I can chat, and an hour will go by in minutes. So those are some of the ways that I'm trying to be more social and maintain friendships as an adult. And then the things that I want to make sure I continue to do in the second half of the year would also be to practice gratitude. There's a spot in the planner where at the end of the day, you'll say your daily win. And I don't want to do that woo-woo, like being grateful just for every thing. Like I love the idea of a daily win, just like one little moment of something that was a highlight of that day. You know, it's nice. It doesn't have to be as intense as the 5-minute journal, which was, I think it was like 3 wins and then 3 things that you're excited about the next day and a mantra. That worked for me really well in the past, but I do appreciate the simplicity of this approach. So those are the things. Let's just kind of go back how you do your mid-year reset. Look at the goals that you had set. Reevaluate what do you want to start, stop, and continue. Build new goals. If there are things that you need to take off and swap, take some time to reflect and see what makes more sense for you moving forward. So you're setting those new goals. Next, you're going to clean and organize, and you're going to get rid of that clutter that's been holding you back and like bogging down your brain and your soul and your heart. We're going to Marie Kondo that stuff. Watch the show. It's incredible. But don't watch the show while you're cleaning, because you might just sit down and not do anything if you're me. And then the next thing we're going to try to do while entering the second half of the year is prioritizing self-care. And for me, that means health and fitness, mental health, and then social. So be social health and like maintaining friendships. And then finally, we're going to practice gratitude. And you may try 3 things that you're grateful for before you go to bed. I personally do like the format of the daily win. So as I close out this video, my daily win would be sitting here and chatting with you guys and making time to do a video that is important and meaningful to me. So I appreciate you guys. And if you have any questions about some of the goals, or you want to see a little bit more about the full focus planner, I'll put those details in the description box just to give you a starting point. I hope to see you in the next one. All right, bye.